I just got done watching that horrible debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And that debate restores zero confidence in the trajectory of this country. Zero confidence. Zero confidence in the trajectory of this country. Now, I was on a plane and my brother sent me an article. My brother Rashad sent me an article. And there was this article in MSNBC. And the article was entitled that far right wing using black podcasts and influencers to spread misinformation. Now, of course, I had to do my due diligence. And I did some research on who wrote the article, right? And I found out that this person was inspired by someone else who published a report. And so first I always look into the characters of these people, right? So we at this point now where if we don't agree with the Democratic plantation, right, then they're going to try to attack you. Now, I actually have been trying to stay away from politics because that's not my bag. But it's impossible now because they see independent intellectual thought as problematic. The idea to connect me with the far right is crazy, number one. And it's interesting because I was just about to interview Cory Bookman, who just lost because the super PAC, right, the Israeli super PAC beat him. And he canceled his appearance on my show, and maybe that's why he lost. He probably needed that extra boost. But I'm taking no stances. I wasn't worried about it. But this black brother named Johan decided to write an article about me and put my face next to Joe Budden and also put my face next to Stephen A. Smith, which, number one, is it's a far spectrum, to say the least, when we look at the culture and black media, because we represent completely different subject matters when it comes to our particular shows. But what I take from that is having three black men up there is that they're afraid of black male, right, voices that aren't completely 100% bowing down to white democratic structure of power. And the report was outlining, and I'm going to do a detailed breakdown on my YouTube channel about this. But the report, and do a brief, the report was outlining, number one, how black influence is becoming so powerful. And what they're really saying is black media. Independent black media. I ain't talking about blackface black media. You say you black owned. You say you for the culture. I ain't talking about that bullshit. That's not real black media. I'm not talking about the ones that take the dollars, right? They get paid, and so they do whatever somebody else is say. I ain't talking about them. That's not real black media. That is controlled media, right? And it's not truly black owned. It's just blackface. But the disrespect, they get these little weak suckers to write these articles. So this brother, Johan, he's against masculinity in all forms. So if you're saying that because I am for masculine approach and values towards things, then that's right wing, then well shit, all you doing is giving me alignment. Because I didn't know that that's what they was for. Right? Because what they're doing is they're saying that we're not capable of coming up with our own ideology, our own perspectives and ideas. I ain't got to listen to no goddamn right-wing perspectives for me to want family, for me to think about black masculinity and masculinity, period, as a necessity in black America, especially with all the reports on a lack of black fathers in the household. That's crazy. But for when you start writing these hit pieces, man, you become an enemy. And who the fuck is MSNBC to have any valid voice, which is a white-owned media company that they hired this soft black man, right? Because they get these black faces to do their dirty work. and then go get a Nigerian black sister who used to work for BlackRock, right? It is now funded by Act Blue, this left wing Democratic political action committee, which means that they raise money and they use that money to manipulate the public towards their opinions. And they funded her so she can do research and attack black male voices in black media and black influence and black podcasts when we don't have enough and we have a lack of funding, and the censorship around black media is still one of the biggest problems, and black male issues are still not being addressed in its totality. But she's saying that, oh, these people are pushing our revisionist history. These people are pushing a manosphere. These people have their own critical thinking. These people have conservative values. These people are not falling in line, being like Mr. Porter kissing the hand of Joe Biden. I don't support Donald Trump. I don't support Joe Biden. I never said I support neither one of these niggas. So when you do that, first of all, we got to be able to recognize enemies that look like us, that work for them. Because all she is a mammy for a master, don't have her own mind in the first place. And she follows and watches my page without reaching out, because in the article they said that they reached out. They didn't reach out to nobody. They didn't reach out for no comment. Because they know they ain't want no comment. They wanted to be able to write their article and push to whatever narrative and propaganda that they wanted, and they're getting paid to do so. So you have white men that raise money that then go hire black people to write articles to discredit black voices that are trying to push progress to our people. I tell people, go vote for whoever you want to, but I just came from Kansas City. And one of the things coming out there, I was going out there because it's a nonprofit, and I'm speaking to the people, spending my time, my money to go out there and speak to entrepreneurs about thinking about the problem in different ways on how they can strategize to raise the quality of living and develop entrepreneurial skills and take control of their future. We're not having a political conversation whatsoever, right? And we're thinking about how do you use politics in the manner that really matters. So we was talking about, everybody go get, you got the food stamps, and then you have the other program like WIC and all of those different things. But they can't be used for healthy foods. So it's a brother that has a business out there who's trying to get a street name changed because it is still named by a racist ex-slave master who they celebrate as one of the founding fathers or an important figure in the history of Kansas City. But he now owns the block, and he got a beautiful health establishment where they got fresh juices and fresh foods. But the people that's on the stamps, they can't come in there and spend it in his space because they saying the food is too prepared. Right. And there needs to be amendments in that to where it changes to where it allows them to be able to buy health food because they live inside of these food deserts. And so we was thinking about like, what are some of the different ways, right, to change, to make change without begging. And if you wanted to increase that brother business 3 to 4 times, all you have to do is make a small change. And then that will change the trajectory of these families being able to eat healthy because we're not even addressing the health crisis of Black America. So this was on my mind. I'm really thinking about like, how do we go about using politics to produce change, right? In a meaningful manner, right? To where we can utilize our influence and our power. And then I see this article. And I think the sister name is Osu or something like that. The brother name is Jahan, right? And I think he's a homosexual black man, so I can understand why he doesn't like masculinity, right? So he's taking his personal, right, beliefs and projecting them out there. Or at least he seems to be that way. I seen somebody speak on that. I'm going to have to do my fact check. But it seems to be that way to me. So I can understand why, strong black men who I'm not out here pushing toxic masculinity as the issue of Black America. I can see why he has an issue with that. So you say blacks are not a monolith and you should vote for your choice. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not even going to dignify that with any level of respect, because you or your team and none of your people that do research that's funded by those white men have reached out to none of us whatsoever before y'all push that propaganda against us and our platform, which also is very dangerous narrative because you putting us in this political spin, and it's a lot of people that are super polarizing in the way that they address politics. You feel me? So I take my safety very serious when somebody essentially declares war on me, putting me in your reports and having media pick that up and then pushing propaganda against my name. And that's completely disrespectful. If anything, if y'all had any integrity, y'all would reach out to these platforms, such as mine, and have a conversation on misinformation and disinformation and malinformation, and what better ways that they can actually have conversations with black men who are in positions of leadership, who y'all call gateway influence or trusted influence, so that they have the ability to figure out how do we address the problems and address you all concerns so that we can actually make some real change. Instead of taking their dollars and feeding them a report that you know that they going to love so that they can continue to give you funding so you can push propaganda. And as a Nigerian woman, it's very interesting. You talk about revisionist history as if black men in America can't make up their own mind and do their own research about it. I didn't see nothing in that article that said anything about being uplifted. Everything in that article, it painted me as somebody, as a black or a far right wing, utilizing us as if we some kind of puppets for some white boys pushing their propaganda through our platform. So I took it as complete disrespect. And then I didn't see any examples of facts or information in the way that we utilized our platform. It's just putting a lot of generalities on me. And now I'm seeing the articles being pushed out there on Twitter. And these crazy, fanatical, political idiots out there is going to push that instantly. So, yes, I'm upset. I'm definitely upset. Right? And, you know, this year has been a year, but I've been focused on working with a lot of nonprofits. You know, I just did, this year alone, we did 3 free events. Just one was specifically dedicated towards black men. My brother Mr. Fab has a nonprofit out in Oakland. My brother Joey Badass has one. Right, we went out to New York, and now we just went to Kansas City. So as somebody that's working to utilize their platform in a manner to really implement impact and progress and change, right, I hate the fact that, we get attacked by our own people. And if I'm ever wrong, you got to correct me, but the correction got to be as loud, as the problem, right? I'm going to need sufficient evidence in that particular case. Because everything that we do self-funded. We reinvest every dollar that we get to produce a platform that has positive impact all across America. The brother Bowman reached out to me when he was being attacked by the Israeli PAC. And I say, bro, come on there, tell your story. He's a Democrat. I don't mind, tell your story. Come on. No problem. They canceled it, and he did his rally with AOC, and then they lost afterwards. I have nothing to do with that. Robert F. Kennedy team reached out. We brought him on the platform. We reached out to Cornel West. We want him on the platform. His team did not respond. We try to do our due diligence to make sure that we are providing a platform that allows people to see the perspectives of how people think so they can then make informed decisions for themselves. I'm never trying to be someone's, talking head. I'm never trying to force people to think the way that I think. I just want you to think better and to think, period. Because a thinking man is a free man. My brother Wolf, you said I'm not mentioned in the article. My face is the face of the article. I'm not sure if you know that. There's a report that the article is based on, and I'm mentioned in that report. And I'm mentioned in the actual article as well. I don't get upset over things that don't concern me. But I do get upset over things that are attack against me. Right? And I'm not cornered whatsoever. I've had time to think about this. And this is, a short burst of passion as I come home from the airport. And we're going to do a real breakdown. right? We're going to do a real breakdown on, everything. I'm going to get the facts straight. And if the sister has something that she sends me, that I believe makes some sense, we'll listen. But until then, aggression will be met with aggression. I reached out to Charlemagne to see what he thought, because he's always dealing with these sort of things. I reached out to a bunch of different people, Rashad, because they mentioned Earn Your Leisure in there, to see what he thought. Right? And I think that there's, a consensus that people agree that if you don't bow down to the Democratic plantation, then and they want everybody to be a monolith in the way that we think and the way that we speak, right? And if we're not pushing their particular politics, then we need to be silenced. Nah, that's a problem. And I just watched that goddamn debate, and that debate was sad on both ends. Biden looks terrible in that. And I think that Democrats would do better with honesty and truth. There's no way you can make that debate look good. Donald Trump was rambling too, saying shit that didn't matter. It's like when you look at America and you tell people that this is where we're going, these are the leaders of America. And the people are happy with that you can feverish, passionately get behind these people and push somebody else to say, yo, they are the ones to give us a better quality of living, to provide more opportunities for us, to produce change. They are the best leaders. Nah, it's 100% embarrassing. And Biden said that nobody is looking at America as weak. That is a 1,000% lie, and everyone in America knows that. Even the most foolish people know that. That was they arguing about golf swings. I could barely understand the monotone replies that Biden was even talking about. And then Donald Trump was never even on point of the conversation. It was just deflection after deflection. You leave that with no tangibles. You leave that, when you think about leaders, they give you vision, they give you guidance, and they provide clarity. There's no clarity. So America is at the end of an empire stage, and the people have to make decisions on how they're going to produce change, right? Because if this gets worse, then it's going to get worse for everybody. And it's definitely going to get worse. You only have two men on that stage. I remember growing up watching the debates. It's like 4 to 6 people speaking, and you get this opportunity to see these different, points of view. This time it's literally 2 people. So when they say choose from the lesser of 2 evils, oh, they meant the hell out of this. But anytime people tell you to choose between 2 evils, you know what your only option is.